the most fun thing to make, especially when you're baking with a girlfriend or a guy friend, is something called a cake truffle, which is a little bite of cake. Great party favors, especially for Valentine's Day.
Truffles, awesome.
Little bites. And so this is a little bite of our birthday cake.
Yum.
So these are actually originated from just having a bunch of cake scraps around.
Right, like when you're doing layered cakes and you trim the cake so it's nice and flat.
Or I grew up with a mom that loved to bake, but inevitably you always had cake that was a little over-baked or cake that was a little old. And the best way to breathe new life into it is to crumple it up, put it in a bowl. We like to use a little bit of milk to bind it. You can use fruit juice, you can use jelly, jam, just until it's a nice,
milk and cake.
Consistent.
They like to be together.
And for these truffles, this is vanilla-scented milk. So milk with a little bit of vanilla extract. Now, I do know that you are a meatball expert. I feel like you're gonna love this. Next thing, we use these fun little cake scoops because they just help portion out the rounds.
So that all of your balls are equal in size.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so diplomatic in this way.
Isn't it fun to say balls? Balls, 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 balls.
So these scoopers help portion out the size.
Now, can I ask you, do you have a favorite savory food?
You know, my favorite savory foods are like the savory foods of my childhood, like mac and cheese, pizza.
Yes.
When I'm cooking at home, meatballs. A great roast chicken, like for me, nothing beats that.
Winter chicken dinner,
Mashed potatoes. I grew up like learning how to bake and cook from the matriarchs of my family. They're all from Ohio, and so we're really big into like just the Midwestern spirit of food.
Ohio is huge. We have several of our kitchen staff is from Ohio. They freak out every time we say Ohio on TV. I'm sure they're
Ohio!
Right now.
So, that sort of stuff, a good bowl of pasta. My father is Italian, Tosi, so you gotta have this.
From northern Italy, yes.
So a little bit of savory food, really just so you can get to the dessert flavor. That's really my mentality.
Do you remember the first baking disaster? Do you have one?
I do, and it actually happened when I was more of a professional pastry chef. You guys know what it's like when you're like going to mix something in your mixer, and you throw all the flour in, and you kind of aren't paying attention. All of a sudden, it shoots out of the bowl at you.
No.
So imagine that moment, but imagine it in a 140-quart bowl of cookie dough. We're talking like pounds and pounds of flour, covered the floor, and then you have 140 pounds of cookie dough, and you're like, well, I know that's not right because half the flour's on me and on the floor. But I think those are like the moments in the kitchen where you have to remember not to take yourself so seriously.
That's it. Food's supposed to be fun.
All right.
We were also talking about what we love most about young chefs. Master Chef Junior again, it's a Thursday night show on Fox, and it's mesmerizing because these kids don't have any rules, right?
They have no rules. Well, what they really have, they have no walls up. They have no boundaries in their mind. They're super brave, they're courageous, and in their mind, the fear of failure doesn't exist. So when they go in, they go all in. And sometimes it doesn't come out great. But the way that they recover, 100%, and it's so inspiring even as an adult.
That's why it's around for 5 seasons.
Even as an adult.
What did we roll the cake bowl in?
This is white chocolate that's thinned out with a little bit of oil, so it's nice and thin, right?
And just over a double boiler.
Just over a double boiler.
Water.
And then anything that's sandy and fun and has flavor works here. It can be ground up pretzels, it can be ground up cereal. This is birthday sand that we make, so it tastes just like their wedding cake, and just like the cake we use